Oh, it's disappointing to say, like, a lot of people have been having, getting charged by bylaws because like they were out like doing like tobogganing, ice skating, or like skating, or like other like winter activities, and yeah, they are being charged, and yet it was not their fault that this was undone in the first. They're getting charged in the first place because it's the people, it's the dum dums heads who like chose not to follow coronavirus safety rules, chose to have large gatherings this Christmas and New Year's Eve. And guess what? We're paying the price for it. So, coronavirus cases are a bit higher than yesterday's, with there are some issues right now. So yeah, that has to do with schools. I'll get onto that. So today's case is 3,226. So today's cases are from 805 cases were it's from Toronto, high cases as usual. 523 is from Peel Region, 349 is from York Region, 208 is from Windsor-Essex Region, 206 is from Waterloo Region, 192 is from Niagara Region, and 153 is from Hamilton. So all of the public health units in Ontario reported, oh great, we have a high number today. Higher than last time. All other public regions, all other regions in Ontario, yesterday was 125. Plus 25. Guess what? We're at 150. Yeah, start screaming. Yeah, the region you are in could be under risk right now. Which is sort of like and the death toll right now is 37 more deaths. And this gets to my next the topic I want to talk about is schools. So some doctors in Toronto have been saying schools should not be opening this early on January 11th because Dr. Lisa Solomon, who works in the East, probably around Scarborough, I guess, because East End, or East York, though. So she said, we do not have distinct borders. Our cases numbers have been rising exponentially. Our hospitals are full. Our hospital beds are full. Our ICUs are full. We're canceling surgeries. We're calling all sorts of elective procedures. And yeah, Lisa Solomon, she's the mother of three. So yeah, and she said working though online classes is very hard for students. So yeah. We are not in the lockdown when schools are open, so yeah, of course, it's the students that they could be interacting with other students in the playground, or yeah, elementary schools. Talking about elementary schools and middle schools. Yeah, kids, students. So they're going to be interacting with other students, and they're going to come home and. One of them might have coronavirus, and they could affect the others, and it could somehow spread to the other people and other students. We don't know it. We can't see it unless we actually like test the vaccine on these people, and then or like test, they do a coronavirus test on these people, and like people like if they're tested positive for the coronavirus, yeah, they got coronavirus. So emergency physician Dr. Stan Solkowski, who works at Humber River Hospital, so yeah, also agreed, yeah. Also said, I don't think it's right, or it feels right for kids to going to school right now, and the only way of really stopping the epidemic is to stop person-to-person transmission. And when kids go to school, they're not going to stay apart, and they're going to spread it. Of course, they're not going to know about it. And Quebec has done has closed including schools for several weeks. So why can't we? So Quebec has like ridiculously high cases right now. Why can't Ontario? And Dr. Solkowski said, yeah, these kids who are playing in the schoolyards are like someone who are playing in the schoolyards and so forth. When they come home, they're afraid they're going to be the spreaders in our society. That makes sense. And also, Dr. Solomon, she said, yeah, we want our lives to return to normal. We want our children's lives to return to normal. We have to do this for the short term. In the long term, we can get back to normal. Makes sense. Well, of course, 60% of new patients in the hospital is from patients have been people who have been at large gatherings and Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve or both, and that's why hospitals have more coronavirus patients and taking over hospital beds than people who are like cancer treatments, MRI or any other treatment that they need to And there's like so many right now I could name, but you'll have to talk to a doctor for that. So fines are in effect. No social gatherings with anyone outside your household. No social gatherings that are household over 10. Limitations on some businesses, some closures, restaurants and bars only doing takeout, delivery, drive-through services. That's standard. Gray zone stuff. No large gatherings. Host space $1,000. Every other person who showed up pays $750. Possible fine of about $100,000 in penalties and 1 year in jail if you're in a chance. And a corporation to break this rule will also break down the large gathering rule can pay $10 million. So of all of Ontario, the gray zone rules is pretty standard right now, and remember, it is day 12 in the gray zone today, so 2 days later, it ends for you, Northern Ontario. The rest of us, we have to wait for 16 more days. until January 23rd. Remember, like standard services, like, yeah. Although takeout, drive-through, and delivery services for available restaurants, bars, and cafes. And if you want to look up like a menu for a restaurant, if you're like ordering from home and you want to pick it up, go to DoorDash.ca if you can't find a website, if they haven't updated theirs, or if you want it delivered, use the DoorDash app. Because not every restaurant I know I think is using Uber Eats. So gray zone specialized gray zone rules are still in effect for Great York Region, Windsor-Essex Region, and Hamilton until the designated dates. Once theirs ends, they will have to follow the standard the gray zone rules for that this rest of Southern Ontario will have to follow. Now hospitalizations. $1,463. Wow, that's the highest so far. 361 patients in ICU. 361 and 246 patients in ICU using a ventilator. Long-term care homes. Long-term care homes aren't doing very well right now. 2,877 deaths have been reported. Yesterday it was 2,830. Remember, 1/3 of long-term care homes in Ontario have had high cases. And most amount of outbreaks. Number of outbreaks right now is 220. 4 higher than yesterday. So, please, don't ruin it for the rest of us. Follow coronavirus safety rules. Don't have social gatherings with others. Absolutely do not. Keep gatherings inside your household under 10. Use social media to contact others. Don't have any activities with other people. Don't interact with anybody right now. Only go to essential travel, like work, school, shopping, care for vulnerable people. Keep your health your first priority. Stay in areas where coronavirus cases are high. That would be Toronto and Peel Region right now, and York Region. And avoid going to places if you're for a high case area. You know where they are. They're the ones I just listed today. Down below. Stay safe. And if you are a person who has been charged by bylaw for going out doing winter activities, and guess what? Guess who the people you can blame on is the people who had gatherings in during this Christmas and New Year's Eve. Blame it on them.